Good morning. It is Tuesday, April 4th, 2023, and I am excited to welcome you to another Taco Tuesday here at WiLS. We're thrilled to have four presenters joining us today. You can see they're here on the screen right now. I like to keep my intros short though, so I am going to just introduce our first presenter, who is Amy, joining us from AVP. Amy, whenever you're ready to take the reins, you're up.
Great, thanks, Jeff. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today. I'm just gonna quickly share my screen. All right, so I'm going to talk today about the services that my company, AVP, provides to our clients and customers. You may or may not have heard of us. We have an office in Madison, Wisconsin, and we have been in Madison since 2016 and have worked with WiLS over the last 10 years or so. AVP is a data and digital asset management consulting company, and we like to say that we help enterprises to build impactful and sustainable digital asset management programs. So as we're thinking about the concept of digital asset management today, I'd like to keep the definition as broad as possible. So thinking about from digitization or acquisition of born digital assets to the point of digital preservation for the long term, AVP can support all of the services, workflows, technology needs from the beginning point of that concept all the way through preservation. And I will talk through the different services that we provide in more detail. So we've been around since 2006, and we've been helping organizations bring clarity to their assets and their programs. We have staff with decades of experience and expertise. Many of us are librarians or archivists, and we've helped dozens of organizations plan, select, launch, grow, and preserve their digital asset managements. We like to take on the heavy lifting of the work, so you don't have to. You can keep getting your day-to-day work done and don't have to think about how you're going to get the rest of these new initiatives in place. We like to think that we're cost effective. You are paying for our services, but it means that you're not paying for your staff to do the work. That again, they need to be, that may not be the focus of their activities. We're always going to find the right solution for your organization. We tailor it to your user and stakeholder needs and requirements. And then of course, we want you to get the most ROI out of your services and systems. So the purpose of AVP is to help you maximize the value of your assets, your digital assets specifically, through the innovation of information ecosystems. And we will do this and with the idea that these are the kinds of outcomes that you're going to see. So we help you transform your organization to increase efficiency, productivity, and impact. We, through the careful development of workflows, systems, and technologies, we can help you secure your digital assets for greater peace of mind and preservation and protection from loss and misuse. And then also, it's always important to, user first is the way we want to think about it. And we want to help you expand your reach and create new experiences for your users. So again, thinking more broadly about digital asset management as a system that has components that work together. A lot of times we think about digital asset management and we think about the technology we use to manage those assets. And that might be a system like Content DM or archive space or something along those lines. And that's just, if you look at this circle here, you'll see that's just one piece of the puzzle. And AVP can help you to implement or improve on the other areas in this circle, the other pieces of the puzzle, including defining the purpose of your digital asset management program. But also important, of course, are the people. So we want to make sure you've got the right staff to do the work that needs to happen, that you have a strong governance program, you're able to continuously improve and so forth. But when you're thinking about digital asset management, it's really important that you're thinking about it more broadly than just the technology, which we can help you with, but we also want to make sure you're thinking more holistically about your program. So we like to focus on the big picture. We're going to think about that entire circle and all of the components of that circle, and then drill down to reach your stakeholders and users and understand their needs so that that circle is addressing the right aspects of your program or aspects of your user needs. I keep saying user, and that's because we're very user focused. We engage with stakeholders from the beginning of any project we take on. We test regularly, and we continuously strive to ensure their success over the long term. And so we look at technology and systems to support their success instead of looking at the technology first. Hope that makes sense. And then we iterate early and often. You're continuously growing your program, and we're going to help you to do that by helping to iteratively prioritize, and then, as I mentioned earlier, continuous testing, learning, and revision. So real specifically, the kinds of work we do, we put them into 4 buckets: plan, select, activate, and explore. So in the plan area, we do things like digital preservation assessments, digital strategy assessments, or helping you develop strategies. We do planning and road mapping for programs, alignment workshops, so we can come in and help your organization make decisions in quick 2 to 3 hour workshops. And then we do UX research as well. In the select category, we can help you select any sorts of technology. We specialize in DAM technology, digital asset management, and also digital preservation systems. And then we can help activate. So once you've selected a new technology, we can help you implement or optimize that technology. We do program development. We can help you migrate your data. System integrations. If you've got a system, 2 systems, and you want them to talk, we can help you with that. And we do things like taxonomy development as well. And then as our 4th category, we do a lot of research and development and prototyping. So if you have a problem that requires that, we can help as well. So I just wanted to talk about a couple of case studies to get real specific about the kind of work we do. So the first one is the JFK Library Foundation. This is a national library, part of NARA, and they've been digitizing materials for decades. But they got to a point where they were starting to encounter issues with their workflows and processes, and the technology itself. It just couldn't keep up with the scale of the work they were doing. We're talking about millions of objects, and they're trying to do it in a very short time frame, and they just didn't have the systems in place to do it. So we came in and did extensive on-site analysis. We did things like recording how long it took them to perform particular tasks, and then defining those tasks so that we could then pull out what needs to continue to be done, what doesn't, and where there are areas of efficiency. We also did all kinds of work to build RFPs for them, for digitization vendors, for new technology vendors, and a variety of other types of work to help them find efficiencies in their digitization workflows, and really just developing a strong foundation for what is an extremely large scale collection. We were able to give them documentation to present to their board members for future fundraising efforts. We established, as I have sort of alluded to, a much more sustainable, scalable, and accessible digitization program. And we've helped them meet goals of making their collections publicly available. And then the second example I wanted to give you was the Grolier Club. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with this organization, but it's a centuries-old membership society that that had to make a major shift in how they did their work during COVID. So they were very much a physical collection, physical organization. They have a beautiful building in Manhattan, and their members would come to the building for events. Well, with COVID, they had to change that completely, and they were not prepared for that pivot. Staff were not equipped to support digital initiatives. Infrastructure was out of date. Digital assets were not accessible. So we went in and helped them develop a strategy to meet their needs in the new digital environment. So the strategy focused both on the organization broadly, but also to the individual stakeholders. So the recommendations included staff retooling and education, a vastly improved website, and substantial updates to technical infrastructure. So now they're really able to meet their global membership and engage with them in ways they haven't before. Their staff are now trained and prepared for this digital first environment, and their outmoded infrastructure and data technologies have been modernized. So that just gives you a couple of examples of the types of projects that we've undertaken. And there are lots of other activities that we do, but hopefully this sort of gives you a concrete example. I just wanted to give you a list of some of our clients. You'll see some big names on there. I mentioned JFK Library, but also we work with public libraries, Queens Public Library, Denver Public Library. We work with museums, academic institutions, corporate clients as well. We really meet you where you're at and help you with the problem that you're trying to solve. And that is it from me. If you have questions, you can reach me at amy@weareavp.com. And again, I am based in Madison, so I'm easy to find. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Amy. I will reiterate what Amy said. Please feel free to reach out to her. Her contact information. We'll include that in the follow-up message after today's session. AVP is WiLS direct order vendor partners. So any kind of orders or work you're going to be doing with AVP will be directly with them, but we'll still take advantage of our partnership with them. Thanks again, Amy. All right, I'm going to just share my screen one more time to kind of get us reset for our next presenter. All right, next up, joining me today for Taco Tuesday is Marco. Marco comes to us from Mango. Marco, are you all ready to take over?
I believe so. Yeah, let me give it a shot, and hopefully it works. Looking good so far. So yep. All right. Perfect. Great. Well, thank you for the introduction, Jeff. My name is Marco Cracchiolo. I'm from Mango Languages. I am the team lead for public libraries and academic institutions. Been with Mango for about 15 years, and the goal for today's meeting is to just simply talk a little bit about Mango Languages, what it is, what it offers, how it impacts communities, how it helps enrich lives with language and culture. I'm just going to go over some of the key features and benefits and what all is entailed in a subscription to Mango Languages. All right, so the first thing, before I start, talking about what's all available in the program, First and foremost, Mango Languages is an effective tool to teach you how to effectively learn real-world conversational skills and actually be able to apply them in a real-world setting. Mango Languages is very intentional, and everything that you do, everything that you're learning is within the context of a conversation. So you're learning things, different topics, such as basic greetings, gratitudes, and goodbyes, to asking for directions or emergency situations, whatever the case may be. We have efficacy studies to support our methodology. It's proven to be a great resource to help enrich lives with language and culture in libraries, academic settings, schools, corporations, governments. So just a quick background about what Mango is. So right now what we're looking at is our website. And I just want to share with you all the languages that are available that you would get in a subscription to Mango Languages. So you can see we have about 75 world languages, all the way from Armenian down to Yiddish and many languages in between. Again, all of these courses are designed to teach you how to effectively communicate. There's going to be a lot of cultural notes throughout the program. We do introduce some grammar notes. However, those are going to be more so meant to help aid the communicative approach. Although we do have more inductive ways of teaching grammar through some of our audio and visual cues in the program. So about 75 world languages. And then in addition to that, we have about 30 specialty courses. These courses are meant to help professionals further advance their skills, help make them more competitive in today's job environment. So you can learn all kinds of topics like business, legal. You can learn how to do business in Chinese Mandarin, hospitality and tourism, and Brazilian Portuguese. So it's very customized specialty courses to help professionals. Now, the other half of these courses are going to be made up of cultural themes. So for example, you can learn Spanish for librarians or Oktoberfest for German. So a whole wide range of topics that you can learn with Mango. In addition to that, we do cover English as a second language. So if you have a population of non-English speakers, this is definitely a great way to start providing them with some of the essential skills they'll need to become productive citizens in America. Additionally, we have some streaming content available, all the way from cartoons for kids, all the way to full featured films. And these do a great job of breaking down the language learning experience. Allows you to really study all the content before watching each scene just to make it that much more digestible. And then finally, we are a mission-driven company, so we do offer many endangered and indigenous languages for free. So you can learn, things like Cherokee, Potawatomi, Chaldean Aramaic. So we actually partnered with many of these organizations and nations to sort of help preserve digitally their language and culture. So you'll see, we have a wide range of these languages available as well. Okay. A couple of things that we do to help support libraries. So we do have a lot of detailed usage statistics, so you can really track ROI. We have other examples of that. Now we do partner with all of our library customers, so we do provide some very high quality promotional materials to help get the word out in the community. So you'll see we have all kinds of social media templates for every occasion of the season, high quality digital material that you can print, bookmarks, posters, things like that. Different flyers, Zoom backdrops, you name it, you'll pretty much find that promotional material on this website. And then in addition to that, we have some nice merchandise as well. So anyone who signs up to Mango Languages gets X number of credits per year that they can spend in the Mango store to purchase, things like t-shirts, pens, water bottles, just to, again, help get the word out. As an example of how inclusive Mango is, we do provide family profiles. So it's very similar to Netflix, where you have your primary account holder, and then that account holder will have the ability to create up to 5 additional family profiles for, friends and family. And studies show that this really helps keep everyone motivated while learning at home. So it's a great feature that we offer. And finally, I just want to talk a little bit about our mobile application. This is what really sets Mango Languages apart from some other language companies for libraries. It is the high quality end user experience that you would be getting with our mobile apps. So that right now we're in the App Store. You can see we have a 4.8 star rating, just under 34,000 reviews. So it is very highly reviewed, highly rated. And for Android, same thing. We have a 4.8 star rating, and not quite as many reviews, but still upwards of over 25,000. And a couple of advantages that you would have with learning a language on our mobile apps is that you would have the ability to download the lessons offline. So if you're in a rural area where the Wi-Fi might be, a little spotty, you still have the ability to learn a language and download all the lessons offline. And then you also have the ability to just listen to all the content. So we call this Mango on the go. But basically, it's just all of the audio, and you can let it play through and learn a language that way as well. So if you lead a busy lifestyle, you're walking your dog, or you're in a long car ride, you can connect to Bluetooth and just listen to the language learning process. Okay. And it looks like I have about 5 minutes left. So with that time, I'm just going to give everyone a quick tour of the Mango dashboard. So this is sort of what it would look like once you log into the program and start learning a language. Now, if you want to see all the languages available, you can just click on the icon in the left-hand corner, and you can see some of the more recent languages that you've opened, some of the more popular languages, and then all languages listed below that. Okay. You're going to have a resume learning button. This will allow you to pick up exactly where you left off. So no matter if you're on your iPhone one day or on the web, doesn't really matter. You can pick up exactly where you left off on any number of languages. Below that, you'll notice we have a daily review system. This is a spaced repetition system that takes a user's feedback and presents key information to them at key intervals to really help maximize retention rates. So it is a great way to, add words, keywords and phrases to your long and short-term memory. We do have a placement test. So if you're not a beginner, you can place into the Mango program. Then the program is broken down by units. So for our top courses, many of these courses are aligned to national standards. So you can think of these as different levels. You start off at a novice low level, learning, basic conversational skills, and then you'll build upon that as you work your way through the program. If you were to complete all lessons through all 5 units, it would take you to an intermediate high level of proficiency. Um, each unit is going to have a pre and post test, so you can really measure your progress every step of the way. Each chapter is going to present a different theme or topic of conversations that you can expect to learn. So naturally, you know, it's probably a good idea to start learning some basic salutations and small talk. Each chapter is going to provide you with a pre-quiz, a post-quiz. So again, you can really measure your progress. Anywhere from 7 to 12 lessons. Each lesson is roughly going to take about 15 minutes. You have extra listening and reading practice. So this is going to reinforce all the content in different modes. You have a recap. So this is going to act as a self-paced quiz to quickly get you back up to speed on all of the content for that particular chapter. And if you just go into a lesson, at the beginning of each chapter, starts off with some conversational goals, grammar goals. So conversationally, this is what you would expect to learn. Grammatically, these are some of the grammar notes that you would expect to see throughout every lesson. Now, by clicking the start button, you would hear a conversation between a male and a female native speaker. Then as you progress through the lesson, you would start to break some of these conversations down into smaller bite-sized chunks, learning them part by part. So there's going to be memory building exercises, a variety of quizzes to help with, you know, memory building and memorization. And then basically, as you're learning conversational skills, slowly building up, you know, breaking them down, learning them slowly, and then building them back up, new words and phrases will be introduced so that as you're learning slowly, things that you learned in the past will constantly be spiraled back into what you're currently learning. So essentially, once you have those foundational skills, the conversational skills that you know and learn start compounding pretty quickly. And that's pretty much all I have for everyone today. You know, there's obviously a lot more to the program, but with 15 minutes, I just wanted to give a quick high-level overview of what Mango Languages is and how it positively impacts communities. And that's all I have.
Thanks so much, Marco. Excellent overview of what is available through Mango. I'll remind our viewers that WiLS has a long-time relationship with Mango, so please do reach out. Marco's always happy to work with us to get you a good price quote and get you a chance to take a look at the resource. Thanks again, Marco.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right. And then let me just briefly say that thanks everyone for hanging on. We have joining us today as our third presenter, Jeff Hahn, joining us from Social Explorer. Jeff, looks like I can see you, and I think you should be able to take over and share your screen.
Terrific. So hello, everyone. Thanks for letting me join you for Taco Tuesday. Not sure who's on the line, but greetings. So just to give you some quick background, Social Explorer is a leader in the data visualization and data acquisition space. We've been in business for over 15 years and have over 475 academic libraries as customers. And actually, we just closed the Library of Congress as one of our customers today. I'm very excited about that. We offer institutions a suite of online tools and data that allow users to visually explore millions of data points across demography, economy, health, crime, social problems, elections. Users can visualize and interact with data and download reports for offline processing as well. So what I mean by that is you can visualize the data, or you can pull the data out of our system and use it in another tool. So For example, if you run a GIS program and you want your students to use Social Explorer as sort of a GIS on training wheels as a way to start, you can then port out the data that they've been using and pull it into another program the next semester and work on that data, say in ArcInfo. So there's a lot of ways that you can use the tool. And over the past 4 years, we've added what we call teach and learn content that supports OER and zero text cost. And I'll show you that in a second as well. So we provide over 250,000 data indicators visualized as maps at numerous geographic levels. They can be you can interact with them, you can share them with others, you can build stories. It's a tool for teaching social science students, business students, health students, critical thinking skills around data sets. So we have a rich library that includes all of US Census data, all the American Community Survey data. We have over 1 million users create over 12 million maps in the last year. We have all tabulated census data, election data, population estimates, FBI crime data. But what we've done is provided a tool where you can build stories, where students can interact with the data and see it at various geographic levels. These are some of our customers. We have all of the tier 1 and tier 2 schools in the country, but we've been moving up into tier 3 and community colleges. We've had great success doing that. But what's nice about Social Explorer is it's not a tool that you would use in school and then never see again. It's not a skill that you would learn in school, but maybe not apply in your career once you leave. We're used in nonprofits. For example, the NAACP is a big customer of ours, the AARP, National Science Foundation. Governments use us, everything from the Port Authority in New York to city planners. We're a tool with New York Times, we're a prime vendor for them. We have been for 15 years. So here's an example of what somebody did with us outside of the academic area. So in the NAACP election in Cobb County in 2020, in the Georgia Senate runoff, the state tried to eliminate some voting locations for early voting. They wanted to go from 11 early voting to 5 early voting spots. And they were able to use our data sets and our mapping tools to show that some disadvantaged voters would have to make a 3-hour round trip via public transportation just to vote. And using our data and us working with them, they were able to add 3 more voting locations in the state of Georgia. So we are a tool that applies the material and teaches critical thinking. And so let me show you what it looks like. So this is Social Explorer. And from here, students and faculty can go in and explore various data sets at various geographic levels. So if I wanted to look at the state of Wisconsin, I could go in. I'm just going to mask the state of Wisconsin, so that's all that's showing. Now I can zoom in. I'm looking at population density. And as I zoom in, the geographic level changes as well. It goes from state to county, the census tract, the block group level. So you can do all types of detailed analysis at all of those levels. And so you can go in for the state of Wisconsin, change the data. So for 2021, we have population density, content, age, sex, race, income, family structure, marital status, education obtained, housing values, poverty. If we wanted to look at married couples with children below the poverty level, I highlight that. Now I'm looking at this at the block group level. I can come back out. I can look at it at the census tract level if I wanted to. So you can start to do some comparisons looking at census tracts. Here, almost 9% of families living in this census tract are living below poverty level with children. And so the darker, the higher, 41% in this census tract in Milwaukee County live below the poverty line. And so you could do comparisons if you wanted to. You could go in, do a side-by-side map. Maybe you change this variable on this side to race. You want to do a comparison of African Americans compared to the poverty level as displayed.
I don't know that one.
And so now we're doing comparisons between the two. You could also do a swipe map between the two. Married couples, families living in poverty, African-American population on the right, and do comparisons. And then you could save these. So I could go in if I wanted to and build a story about this. Maybe I want to and save it. So now what I've done is I've created a story that I can share with anyone. You could embed this into your LMS. So if you were a faculty member, you could build a data story, embed it into your LMS using this embed code with a couple of questions around it. And now you have a nice learning object that you've built that will always be in your LMS and something that you can then use in your course on a regular basis. We've also created teach and learn modules. These are pre-built, what we call lecture launchers. So if I wanted to go in and look at urban geography as a topic, we've pre-built some maps and activities as a way to show students how they can use our tool, or you could integrate these into your courses as well. This is free, zero text content, OER kind of content that students can have access to. So it tells you it takes 10 minutes to walk through this. It's sort of at an intermediate level. If you click it, you can see the story that we've built. Highway development and inner city blight. So here we're looking at the US highway system. Looking at public transportation, population density around highways. Talks about construction of the Cross Bronx Expressway and who falls within the construction zone. So it's just a nice overview of how you can use maps with real data to sort of prove a point and to show something in the social sciences that a lot of people know. I mean, people have a pretty good understanding of where highways go in this country when they go through major cities. And so this allows faculty in the social sciences to show students the science side of social science, that it's large data set driven. Also, we have data that goes all the way back to 1790 to the first census. You can do comparisons over time if you wanted to zoom in on Wisconsin. Here we're looking at population density. We can look at, just by clicking 5-year change, now we're looking at 5-year change over time by county. Who's losing people? Who's gaining? Our folks in Madison are gaining. Population in Dane County, I still sort of live out that way. So just to let you know, Madison is an adopter of this. UW Milwaukee is an adopter of this product as well. It works great at both undergraduate courses and community colleges. It's a way to teach critical thinking. And we're happy to set up a trial for anyone who's interested. We would set you up in a trial. We would do training for you. And our price is great. We have great pricing through WiLS. We are the least expensive mapping and data visualization tool available. So that's my 15-minute presentation. I wonder if, do we take questions or are we moving on to the next?
Hi, Jeff. Yes, if anyone does have any questions or would like to chime in, please feel free to put anything into the chat. We've got the Q&A module as well. I haven't seen any questions come in so far, but why don't we just give it a few moments here just in case anyone has some.
Sure.
Thanks again, Jeff, for a great presentation. I'm always impressed with what kind of data can be pulled out of Social Explorer for all kinds of applications, of course.
Yes. Thank you.
Higher ed or in other enterprises as well, as you pointed out. So very cool.
Well, thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jeff. If anyone does think of any questions after the session, or if you're watching the recording, please do feel free to reach out to me or reach out to Jeff. I'll include his contact information in our follow-up email.
Well, thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, so why don't I take us right back to one more time to our starting screen, just so that I have a chance to introduce our fourth presenter, our last presenter for today. Joining us today from Creativebug is Megan. Megan, are you here on the line?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, although now I'm worried I may not have empowered you to share your screen, so I'm going to change that right now. Okay, great.
Okay. I will
Stop sharing mine here.
There we go. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen and oh.
Megan, I don't know if you can hear me. We're not hearing you at the moment, and it says that you've started screen sharing, but we're not actually seeing anything.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm getting an error message that says, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay. I'm getting an error message that's telling me that when my screen is being shared, that my computer audio is being disabled. So let me try one more time and see if I can share and still talk. Just one moment, please. Sorry about that.
No problem. Well, we're seeing your screen.
Okay, I apologize. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a moment, just so I can figure out if I need to change my audio settings. So I'm very sorry about that.
No problem at all. We all live in this Zoom world, and there are just sometimes it's mysterious and mystical the way it operates. Please let me know if there's something I can be doing. I'd also be happy to share a screen if you want to maybe pour your slides over to me or something. We could do it that way if that will help.
Sure. Can you hear me?
I do hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. And I just started sharing my screen, so please let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Now we see it.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
And we hear you. I think we're there.
I am so sorry for the delay, and I appreciate you sticking with me through that. So my name, as Jeff has mentioned, is Megan. I work for a company called Creativebug, and we primarily do work with public libraries, but we have recently been getting a lot more interest from academic libraries and school libraries, partially because we have been focused much more on what we can do to support libraries who are using our resource as part of their library's programming. So it is an electronic resource that can be shared with patrons on your library's website. They can access it and use it independently. Creativebug is a streaming video platform with arts and crafts classes. All of them are video based. But we also have public performance rights with our subscriptions for libraries. And so it's a really great way for patrons to be able to interact with the platform in addition to just accessing it and using it independently. What you're seeing here is the Creativebug website. So this is the actual platform itself. And there are a variety of ways that patrons can access classes. You can see, I'm just going to hover here. You can look and browse by class category. So we have a variety of different art and craft categories that you can access. We have what's called a daily practice. This does not happen every month, but it's really cool when it does happen. April does happen to be one of the months when we're hosting a daily practice, which means that we publish a new class every day. And we also have some additional resources. You can come and view the calendar, search by instructors, view our blog. CBTV contains some behind the scenes and additional recorded content. We have a pattern library and also class collections, which are curated class collections that we suggest for libraries to use as part of their programming. We also have the simple search here, so you can just type in a specific keyword and you'll get some results there as well. I typed in quilt. It's one of our most popular crafting types, and it defaults to sorting them by most recently released. If I click on one of the classes, I can show you just basically how the class page is laid out here. So you'll see the ratings from other users who have completed this class. There are chapters over here on the right-hand panel. You can add the class to your watch list by clicking this. And what's nice about the watch list is there is also an option in the account settings to share that watch list. So that's something that's useful to share on your website or social media. Scrolling down here, you'll see all of your materials listed, some images of completed projects. Some of these are the instructor's project, and then we also have some students who've taken this class and shared their completed project as well. We have our materials list here available for download, and we also have our transcript, which is downloadable. I'm going to play a portion of this.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
And a couple of things. You can turn on captions, which is a nice feature. Put bookmarks in at a specific timestamp. This is very useful, I think, for sharing these types of videos inside the library as part of your programming. You can navigate through the chapters clicking on the grid here, and there are additional settings for resolution, playback rates, and captions. We also have this option to cast as well if you have a TV that's or a device that you can cast to. It's for Chromecast. Briefly, I will also show you the home page. I'm just going to jump back here to the home page. We do have everything organized in carousels. So you'll see as soon as I'm logging in, it welcomes me back. So it remembers me. And then I can pick up where I left off with any of my recently watched classes, find classes that are recommended for me based on my interests, see what's new, what's popular, and some seasonal classes as well. So everything is organized in carousels, which I feel is a pretty familiar setup for most streaming video users, so easy to navigate. Up here, you'll see this is where I can access the menu. So I will show you some of the account settings very quickly. Of course, my name is listed here. I have the option to change my privacy settings here, which is really nice. I can opt in or out of emails when new classes are released. I can set my crafting preferences. I can opt to show or hide any of my gallery, my watch list, favorites, etc. on my profile. And I can change my password here. I will actually show you the billing info too, just because people ask about this. You can see that it says active courtesy of Creativebug Library. So patrons will never be asked for payment information. That's all suppressed here. Libraries also have some controls over which parts of these settings can be visible to their patrons. And oops, I forgot to share one thing. Let's see here. I can jump back to my classes. I did mention that we can share a watch list here. That's where this is where you access it in your account. There's this share my watch list link, and you can either copy that link or share it directly to any of these channels. I'm going to come back to Creativebug homepage. Just a few other things that I will mention briefly before it's time to wrap up. It is a resource that can be accessed either from inside the library or remotely. And we have a variety of different authentication methods. The collection is constantly growing, so we always just add new classes. There's never classes that I shouldn't say never, but very rarely would we remove a class or suppress a class temporarily from our collection. We do also have live stream events that happen once or twice a month, and we share that information with all of our library admins and patrons in a monthly newsletter. Patrons can opt in to receive those newsletters at the time of registration. If a library decides they don't want us to communicate directly with their patrons, they can just tell us to turn that off. We also do have an administrative portal available for library subscribers so that you can access things like MARC records, promotional materials, and your monthly usage information. And I think I've shared about everything that I typically share with, with libraries during a demo. I know I talked very quickly through the overview, so please let me know if there are questions that come up, or if you would like to check out the service trial, I can share that as well.
Thank you so much, Megan. It's always cool to see Creativebug on display. I think it's one of those resources. I'm sure I've said this before. It's one of those things that's kind of different than a lot of the other sorts of resources that we help provide at WiLS. You know, it's not a typical content database like so much of the stuff that our libraries get. So it's always fun to see this on display. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you so much. And yes, it is fun. It's I should also mention, I think that a lot of our classes are very low level of entry. So for example, like you don't have to be an expert crafter in order to get something out of Creativebug. So we try to keep the barriers to entry relatively low.
Fantastic. Well, again, I'll echo what Megan said. If anyone has any questions, feel free to contact us either right here in the chat in the session or afterwards. We will, as always, send out a follow-up message after today's session, which will include recordings of everybody's presentations, as well as contact information in case you want to reach out to them or to us. Thank you again, Megan. And thank you to all of our presenters today for putting on a great Taco Tuesday. Thank you to those viewing live. Thank you to those of you viewing the recording. And thank you, well, thank you to my dog who is snoring. I'm not sure if that's being picked up by the microphone. We had a little bit of a thunderstorm here during the session. And so she went to hide under my desk and now she's asleep down there snoring. So thanks to her as well for the cute extra sound effects. All right, with that, I will call this a completed Taco Tuesday. Please join us again 2 weeks from today on April 18th for another exciting Taco Tuesday session. And have a great afternoon. Oh, and today in Wisconsin, it is election day. So if you have forgotten by some crazy chain of events, please remember that it is election day in Wisconsin today, so get out and vote. All right, that's it for today. Thanks so much, and everyone have a great afternoon.